What up, YouTube? T-Moose here. Really, every Thursday, technically it's not Thursday anymore, it's a little later, but every Thursday I'm going to do a video where I really call, well, the funny joke is, the funny reference you put this way is a getting old video, or, yeah, something like that. Because what I'm going to do is, every Thursday, you know, since it's always Throwback Thursday, and I'm probably going to do this on Friday too, because flashback and stuff, I'm going to be... Anyway, I'm going to be talking about the films that are turning 10 years old and 20 years old this week. Because it's always nice to look back at the movies, like, movies that are having their anniversary and all that. Now, I'm not going to always talk about movies turning 15 and stuff like that. It's just, you know, or 30 or whatever. It's just movies turning 10 and 20. So, anyway, with that being said, here is my Getting Old video called Throwback Movies. Alright, now here's the films that are turning 10 this week. Well, technically these movies turn 10 on Wednesday, but I'm definitely like doing this video on Wednesday, so. Anyway, the films that turned 10 years old this week, holy cow. One of which is a movie called Bitch Slap. Yeah, there's literally a movie titled Bitch Slap. And it's where like these three girls who ends up arriving in a desert to extort money from a kingpin, but things end up going horribly wrong. This stars Erin Cummings, who I really adore. Erin Cummings, you know, if you guys don't know, she's been on the John Campea show. She's popped up in stuff like lots of she popped up on The Flash. I mean, Erin Cummings is a boss. And this, like, it's always cool seeing, you know, it is always cool seeing women go, you know, violence and all. But this is this is actually more of a guilty pleasure of mine, but it's pretty dumb. Pretty cool action. I mean, this is really, I guess you could say this is more like, this was a limited release when it got released, so, yeah. Bitch Slap turns 10 this week. And that's a weird title, but anyway. Alright.
Yeah, that's all I listened to. It's like
also turning 10 this week is a film called Crazy on the Outside.
When I can hear the music.
Now this film starred and was directed by Tim Allen and starred Tim Allen as his ex-con Tommy, who's trying to who ends up trying to who's trying to ready to start a new life out of prison and all, and he ends up moving in with his sister played by Sigourney Weaver, and he ends up getting a job at this burger joint. But you know, his ex-partner in crime Gary is trying to get him back into the life. But Tim Allen's character also ends up falling for his probation officer, so there's that. Now, Tim Allen, I love Tim Allen. You know, Santa Claus, Toy Story. I like his show Last Man Standing. But Tim Allen has had a career of... He's had a streak of terrible, horrendous movies. And...
Yeah, I taught her one time.
And boy, I tell you, Crazy on the Outside is definitely one of them. Now, this is a movie that Tim Allen actually starred and directed in. I believe this was his directorial debut, if I'm not mistaken. You know, it had an interest, like, you had a Galaxy Quest reunion between Tim Allen and Sigourney Weaver, but that was not enough to save this movie. You had Ray Liotta was in this. J.K. Simmons was in this movie. Jenny Triplehunt. Some great cast members. I mean, Julie Bowen was also in this. But holy cow. Crazy on the Outside. It's probably one of the worst comedies of the decade. It was not that all funny. Tim Allen was horrendous in this. I mean, Tim Allen has done some bad stuff, like movies, I should say. I mean, he did some bad stuff before, like, I'm not going to go into details, but Tim Allen has been in some bad movies. You know, Christmas with the Cranks. I like Joe Somebody. Zoom, remember Zoom? But probably the worst film on his career list, it's Crazy on the Outside. I mean, yeah, if you guys haven't seen Crazy on the Outside, yeah, you don't need to see Crazy on the Outside. Alright, also turning 10 is the vampire movie Daybreakers, where this movie took place in 2019, and it was where like Plage ends up transforming every human into vampires. and it's actually these researchers teaming up with a band of vampires to stop the outbreak and all, or just say Daybreak. This was actually not half bad. I mean, it's not a great film, but it's for a January release. It was pretty decent. A really nice vampire flick. It was directed by the Spirited Brothers, who also gave us Jigsaw and some other stuff. You had Ethan Hawke, William Dafoe was in this. It had some pretty, it had some pretty solid action, some solid horror. If you guys haven't seen Daybreakers, definitely go check it out. All right, also turning 10, it's a romantic comedy titled Leap Year. Now, it stars Amy Adams, who plays this woman named Anna, who travels to Dublin, Ireland, to propose to her longtime boyfriend, because I guess in like, because like in Ireland or whatever, it's like a tradition that the girl has to propose to the guy on a leap year and all that. Anyway, I adore Amy Adams, but this is probably the worst movie Amy Adams has been in. I mean, the movie, Amy Adams was okay in it. She's Amy Adams, she's always great. But the movie just wasn't, like, it had some cute moments. Like, it's not a horrendous dumpster fire, but I just really didn't, it was kind of bland to me. I mean, it also had Matthew Good in it, and I love Matthew Good, but even he couldn't save this movie. It didn't have a good script at all. I mean, I didn't really. There are actually some people who did like Leap Year, and that's cool. But yeah, I mean, not that good. Anyway, all right. Last but not least, the film turning 10 this week is probably the best film on this list. And the film turning 10 years old this week, that is the best one, is Youth in Revolt. Now, director Miguel Arteta, he has a new movie coming out this week called Like a Boss. But 10 years ago, he had a movie called Youth in Revolt, which starred Micah Cera, who plays this guy named Nick, who ends up falling for this girl played by poor Doubleday from Mr. Robot fame, and he wants to woo her, and he's hoping that she'll be the one to take his virginity and all. Now this is actually the movie that made me go, Micah Cera, he could really be he's actually a solid actor. Yeah, when you think of him, he's always that dorky guy from Superbad or whatever, or Juno. But this guy, Micah Cera, has acting chops, and Youth in Revolt proved it. I thought he was incredible in this film. He had great, he had great comedic timing. He had a great performance here. If you guys haven't seen Youth in Revolt yet, go check it out. Directed by Miguel Arteta. It had a really solid cast. You had Gene Smart, Zach Galifianakis. You also had Ray Liotta. Not funny that Ray Liotta had 2 movies out that week. You had Justin Long. I mean, some really solid actors was in this. But yeah, if you guys never seen Youth in Revolt yet, definitely give that one a shot. Alright. Now the film's turning 20 this week, which these are actually movies that got released on January 12th, which of course January 12th is this week. But the film's turning 20 this week. Alright. One of the films turning 20, I meant to say. Actually 12. I meant one of the films turning 20 this week. The family drama My Dog Skip, which takes place in 1944 and is about the friendship between it's like a coming of age story about shows the friendship between a young kid and his dog. Now this stars Frankie Muniz. You also had the likes of Luke Wilson. You had the likes of Kevin Bacon, Diane Lane. The movie was directed by Ladder 49 director Jay Russell. This is a really tragic film. I mean, you're definitely going to need some tissues while you're watching this. My Dog Skip doesn't really get talked about as much as it should have. It's really incredible. It's a very touching film. I mean, if you watch this movie and you have a dog, you're a dog lover, you're probably going to want to hold your dog. I mean, yeah, this is a really tragic story, and great. I like the chemistry between Frankie Muniz's character and the dog. Their chemistry was pretty great. Kevin Bacon and Luke Wilson was amazing. Definitely go check out My Dog Skip if you guys never seen it. And I kind of wish Frankie Muniz could have a bit of a comeback. I kind of miss that guy. Alright, the best film that turns 20 that week is arguably Next Friday. Next Friday, well, not as good as Friday After Next or the original Friday. How's it going? Next Friday is really hilarious. You know, this time around you had Elroy and Day Day who want to like get money. So they're you know, so that way their uncle's house doesn't get sold out of auction, and so they decided to steal money from other people's their neighbors' houses and all. And Next Friday is hilarious. I mean, great hijink. Like this time around, now, of course, if you guys know, the original Friday had Chris Tucker, but Mike Epps ended up replacing him in the last two Friday movies. I mean, Next Friday is a hilarious one. I'm still hoping Ice Cube and Company hurries up and gives me another Friday, but I'm not having high hopes for that. But still, you of course had John Witherspoon, R.I.P. John Witherspoon, as Pops was in this. Tommy Tenney Lister returned. I mean, Next Friday was a hilarious one, and crazy to believe that it turns 20 this week. I mean, that's insane. That's literally mind blowing right there. I mean, it's a good time for Ice Cube to give us another Friday, but we'll see what happens in the near future. I mean, he's been talking about another Friday, but yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. Anyway, all right, there you have it. My favorite movies of the 10-year list is by far Youth and Revolt, and my favorite movie of the 20 list is Next Friday. Anyway, let me leave you guys. Which of these films, held out for you the most? Like, were you into Daybreakers? Were you into Next Friday? My Dog Skip, etc. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Team Movies signing off.